Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin here, Kona Astrologer. You're about to see program 1005. And I got some interesting fun things for you. But let's see, little business first. There's an eclipse coming up, a solar eclipse at 19 degrees of Pisces. It's on March 8th. And this is a full solar eclipse. And usually the sun figuratively dies, and on Earth, kings die, bosses die, important men die on solar eclipses. Lunar eclipses, important ladies die. Anyway, he's dressed in Pisces clothes. Whoever this person is, they're famous, might be musicians, artists, people like that. This eclipse opposes Jupiter and squares Saturn, and tends to lock up the liberals and the conservatives in battle. It sextiles Pluto, and so the gun people will like it. Okay, what's it going to be like day by day? We're going to talk about it in a down-to-earth fashion. I got 8 planets in Earth. Did you know that? And Taurus rising. I'm a very earthy character. What's going on here? Well, Mars at 29 Scorpio is squaring Mercury at 28 Aquarius. You know, rough talk, angry talk, impatient talk, walking, talking, watch where you're going, aim high. You know, maybe it's better you don't say that. Can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. That's the credo for the first part of your next week. We've also got the old Pluto-Uranus square here. So the videotaping of the powerful police continues. More interesting facts are coming out, though, because Jupiter's trining Pluto. We could learn a lot more about what this problem we have in this country with these handguns is all about. I mean, we all hoped that when you gave them tasers, they'd throw away their handguns. The cops don't want to carry those things around. You know, most policemen are afraid somebody's going to take their gun and shoot them. So they'd be happier with a long gun. Any kind of long gun. They got shotguns in the car. What more firepower do you want? Originally, you know, police didn't carry any firearms. They were only there on holidays to keep order. And, you know, in Britain, they carried the billy club, you know. Even today in Arab countries, the policemen go around with a little short, harmless kind of a whip, and somebody's not doing right, they give them a whack. But they're not carrying handguns, lethal force. That's the difference. As you go into the beginning of your next week, the sun here is squaring Saturn. And we're all a little cold, and we're all a little depressed, and we're all kind of tired of authority. Guys in dark suits and ties, and bankers and politicians, and I'm going to get into some of these politicians a little bit. See if I can't lighten it up a little. What's it going to be like day by day? We're going to run the moon around the planetary pattern. These are just people, you know. And humanity has been studying these characters for 50,000 years, so we know who they are. For instance, here on Friday morning, March 4th, the moon's going by Pluto. Eek, a bug. This is eek, a policeman. Eek, a gun. Eek, a new virus. And, you know, it tends to make you feel powerless and all alone as you go through Friday morning. Thursday night was pretty good, actually. You know, Thursday night you probably enjoyed things a bit, because here's the sun, and here's Venus, or Neptune, and so it was kind of partying a little bit Thursday night and feeling sort of powerful. But Friday morning, alarm bells go off kind of early, and you may not like it. You could learn some more truth here about some of these alarmists. That's a good name for Pluto. An alarmist. Eek, it's ISIS. Anyway, as you go through Friday, you'll slowly get over the Friday morning eek panic feelings. it's working its way back into Thursday, this square. Saturday morning, the moon's still in Pisces in the beginning, and there's a nice sextile to Mars, and you could be quite ambitious. Get out and do something. Go for a swim. Go for some exercise. Go fix something. After breakfast, the moon shifts into Aquarius, and everything changes. A fixed air sign, more intellectual, but not as goal-oriented as Capricorn is. So if you got a good start Saturday morning and started doing some work, some physical stuff, keep it up as long as you can Saturday. On Sunday, March 6th, there's a nice sextile to Saturn, and we feel organized, and we're getting the job done. We're on time. We're on budget. Feels pretty good. We got work done Saturday, and we got plans all set up and finished Sunday morning. And there's rewards here Sunday night. The moon's going by Venus. Oh boy. There's a nice sextile to Uranus too. So there could be some universal love, some friendship. This would be a day of good feeling on Sunday, March 6th. Venus is there too. So there's some sweets at the end of Sunday. Yes, you should, you got your work done, you got organized. Enjoy yourself Sunday night. It's all about some fun and pleasure for a change. As you go through Monday morning, things are okay until you get to about breakfast time, and then there's moon squares Mars, and people are impatient and angry, and that's the lousy way to start your work week. Ask yourself what you're protecting. Maybe you didn't physical work to do will diffuse your anger and impatience. Yes. Monday night, late, this is midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning, the moon goes by Neptune here. So there's some inspiration, some Jesus love around, some dreaming. Not too bad. Tuesday, the moon's still in Pisces, pretty dreamy still, but you're in the eclipse zone. Yeah, total eclipse is here. Tuesday afternoon, evening on March 8th. Now, this is not a time to start things that you don't want to continue. That you want to continue, because they may not continue. If you want to get rid of something, Tuesday afternoon and evening's a good time to do it. Get rid of it. Trash that sucker. Get loose of it. There's a nice sextile to Pluto. When's that? That's right in here. There's a little blue line. Boy, this is tight. Look at that. There's a red line, blue line, red line. As you go through the middle of Tuesday, so you're surrounded, you're depressed, and then there's discovery, and then you overdid it. Well, like I say, eclipses take things away. Want to kill something? Well, this is the time to get your plans together. That's what eclipses do. That's why the sun is so unhappy here. So, care, caution, yes. All the way through Tuesday and into Wednesday until the middle of the day. Finally, the moon shifts into Aries. You get some of that eclipse feeling off. There's a trine to Mars after lunch, and you can get back to work again. Get some physical stuff done. Moon in Aries, not bad. On Thursday, the 10th, the moon's still in Aries. Makes a trine to Saturn before lunch. The square to Pluto. See, it's worked back into Thursdays. Eek, a bug, panicky. That's just around lunchtime. And then comes the feeling of isolation and strangeness and weirdness, and the electronics quick. Twist the plugs. It's in the connectors. So now we have a Thursday panic day. We can't talk about freaky, frantic Fridays. We gotta. I'll make something up. Ha ha ha. Anyway, feel weird, different. Hey, be one of Woodstock. That's what Thursday's about. After all these elections, nobody talks about the environment and global warming, or any of the issues that we really all want to talk about. Friday, on March 11th. Now the moon shifts into Taurus just about breakfast time. There's a nice sextile to Venus. There's some sweets around. Have a nice breakfast Friday with somebody you love. Relax. Moon's in Taurus. You're going towards a nice spot. There it is, Saturday, March 12th. Starts in the morning with music. There's a sextile to Neptune. Religion, art, color. Very nice. Here's Mercury, too. Talk about it. Speak about it. Get your Bible out and read Jesus to your family. Whenever he says heavens, just substitute sky and see how it comes out. There's discovery here. Here's a trine to Pluto after lunch, and another trine to Jupiter. You're finding out more about guns and power, and if the nations on this earth cannot handle nuclear weapons, how can you expect your town to handle pistols? It's the same thing. Macro and micro. It's on Ronald Reagan's back, The Russians were ready to get rid of all the nukes. We could have done that. And Reagan made the agreement, and then he came home and started his stupid Star Wars things, and everybody stopped, and the world's still full of nukes. Feels like the gun laws in your city, huh? Anyway, there are evil people here. It's funny, Republicans, all they can talk about is guns and ISIS and war, and they revere Ronald Reagan, who's probably the most evil president we've ever had. Otherwise, if it weren't for him, you wouldn't have nuclear weapons in the world. Get it straight. Yep, there's a nice sextile to the sun Saturday night. You got it straight. Now you understand. Continues through Sunday morning, almost to lunch. You get to lunchtime here, though. There's a square to Venus, got lazy, an opposition to Mars. The young couples are fighting. There's a Venus-Mars square. Everybody feels sexy and romantic, but the timing's all wrong, isn't it? Well, that's just Sunday, March 13th. Well, after the last 3 shows, I put all the technical stuff on you about a New York hit. And I got to tell you, I don't enjoy doing this work anymore. I set off to start predicting hurricanes and earthquakes and demonstrate that astrology did that because the ancient Chinese did it. They had 5,000 astrologers all over, doing the full moons and new moons. Kublai Khan told this to Marco Polo, and they're using it to good. I figure we ought to demonstrate it, so I did a pretty good job, but I'm picking up all these things now, and I don't like it. I don't like, I love New York, and the people there are so Aquarian, so predicting a bummer for them, it's an ouch. I don't like it. Is there any, when William Lilly predicted the Great Fire of London, London's going to burn down. He did it a couple of years ahead of time because a fixed star came to the London midheaven. And they knew the midheaven. They knew the exact chart of London because, when they put the first block down, all the astrologers were there. They did a ceremony. They knew the exact chart right to the second of when London was born. So they knew where the midheaven was. And when that evil red fiery star, which moves 1 degree every 72 years, came to that midheaven, several other astrologers predicted London would burn down too. Anyway, William Lilly did it. Result was they hauled him into court, made him very uncomfortable. So I'm not comfortable predicting these bummers. I really set out just to demonstrate it could be done. And that, if we were smart like the Chinese, I have great admiration for the Chinese. Great admiration. And the ancient ones, if we had 5,000 astrologers working all over the U.S., they'd do better at the weather and these natural disasters than anything we got here now. But I'm going to try to do a few less and entertain you more and teach you a little more of the ancient science and spend less time on predicting bummers. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I thought I'd, start, I'm going to go back into the ghosts and magic and all kind of strange things too, a lot more. But I think on this show what I want to do is I want to get into these presidential candidates. Yeah. Hey, before I start, public access television is a really wonderful thing. It really is. I mean, they make it possible for you to put things on that you want. Well, Naleo, the station that serves the Big Island, recently had a little celebration. And they did something called the 1,000 Show Club. And they honored me. And I thought I'd beat my own drum a little bit. And my buddy Rosie, who actually got me into this, he started his shows just a few months before I did, and I was thinking about it. He said, Frost, just do it. And so I did, and that's how I got into it. So Rosie's been my longtime friend. They spelled my name wrong, see that? And Rosie deserves the honors. 1,800 shows? No, he's about the same number of weeks. He does 2 shows, and he's busy and serves the public well. Here's Len. He's my friend and buddy too. 500 shows. And here's 600 shows from Joan, who does music. Music is neat because it's what we call cheap content. You just go and videotape. Sports is somewhat similar. I tell Rosie it's easy compared to what I do. It takes me a day or two to prepare a show. Other than that, we've got church, 48 shows, more churchy, 48, more church, 48. These guys must have all started their stuff about the same time. Here's another one, 4 religious shows. Gosh, wish I hadn't seen that. Anyway, you can do it. Yes, you can. And it's fun. And it won't cost you nothing but a little time. What have I got here? I've got the charts. You can go on the internet now and just Google, Donald Trump's astrology chart. Up comes a bunch of people who did it. So I got Donald's chart, Hillary, Bernie Sanders, Ted Cruz, and Bill Clinton. And I've got all their charts here. Now, I could just I could go ahead and predict the election, but that would take all fun out of it. The networks kind of make me a little ill. They don't report on what's really happening in the world. They're saving money. What they're doing is cheap content. You get talking heads sit around and say, what do you think of Donald Trump? What do you think of Donald Trump? What do you think of Donald Trump? Come on. Anyway, I thought by going through their charts a little bit, I could add a little more fun to the clown show we call the television media. I can't even watch CNN anymore, not to mention Fox. But by knowing more about each person, you can have a little fun about the clown show. Isn't quite as horrifying. So let's take a look at Mr. Trump first. Any of you that know astrology know, go for the rising sign. And when you go for the rising sign with Mr. Trump, he's Leo. Of course he's Leo. Just look at the guy, your rising sign, who you are, the way you look. It's the actor that you play. And we have a Leo the lion here, a fixed fire sign. He's got a lot of energy. And look at that. There's Mars on the rising sign. This guy is a fighter. He's a hero. He could be a very self-centered Leo too. Mars likes fire signs. So Mars likes Leo. And Mars, so he's good at what he does, isn't he? Now, there are some that would say Mars rising is difficult. I have 2 good friends who have Mars rising, and they're both heroes. But they do have quick tempers, and we've seen that with Donald, huh? The fire flares up. Now, with him, his Mars actually trines the moon. Here's the moon. The moon has a sextile. Computer didn't draw it in. To Jupiter. And I found in looking at politicians' charts, almost all of them have a moon-Jupiter thing, so their face is always optimistic. The moon is the public, huh? So the public, the moon, the mother here, and this is Trump's mother in the 4th house, and his cat trines his Mars and say, yes, you're a hero, go for it. So, and the moon, Jupiter, he seems honest and open, and he's got his foot in his mouth half the time. That's the way Jupiter is, throwing these lightning bolts of truth. Jupiter trines Uranus up here. which is the media. And here's the North Node. So he's got the North Node and Uranus and the Sun all in a group up here in the 10th house. He's a public person. The Sun is the ruler of Leo. So first you always look at the rising sign, yeah? What it is, any planet around it. Then you look at the ruler of the rising sign. What planet rules Leo? The Sun does. Now in Mr. Trump's case, the Sun opposes the Moon. He was born on a full moon. His mom and dad, they didn't always agree. But they both, the Sun trines Jupiter and the Moon sextiles it. So Jupiter could mediate the differences between Trump's mother's side and his father's side. Now the South Node here is at 2048. And the South Node sucks up nurturing. Okay? And so that means Trump's face, his mother, the group he's with, because the Moon rules the 11th house, takes extra nurturing. Yeah. But the Sun supports his Mars. It sextiles his Mars. I mean, it's quite a lovely, powerful chart. When you look at it, it makes this amazing this dish kind of a thing. And he's quite a Martian, this man. His his career persona is Taurus. He has Taurus on the 10th house. That's Venus. So he's known as kind of a sweetheart, but Venus is here. Conjunct Saturn. His Venus is a manager and could be very harsh. And he doesn't get as much loving as he should. Venus is on a 30-degree angle from his Mars. And it seesaws to the Moon. So Mom was not a loving person. So there's some interesting problems here. Venus and Saturn being on a seesaw from the Sun and the Node, and also from Mars. He has to take turns, huh? So he has a soft side, but when his soft side is out, when his Venus is up on the seesaw, because they're in 30-degree angle from one another. Mars is down. He doesn't show the macho side, the mean side. When Mars is up on the seesaw and the macho mean side comes out, Venus is down, and there's no loving side. So if he's being loving, he's not being heroic. When he's being heroic, he's not being loving. And there's a problem in his chart. Let's see, anything more on Mr. Trump? Well, the eclipse is at 18 Pisces, is in his 7th house, squares Uranus and the nodes and the Moon and the Sun. So after that eclipse, he's going to lose some friends. He's going to lose some friends and some partners. And you may see Donald takes a little time off. Even lions get tired now and then, don't they? When you see a lion out in the movies or out in the, what's he usually doing? He's usually just laying around, huh? You don't see lions in full bore running. Okay, here's Hillary. And what's her rising sign is Scorpio. Wouldn't you know, she's a powerful Plutonian person. And she has Mercury right on the rising sign. She's a talker. She communicates. The South Node, which sucks up mothering, is here at 23, Scorpio 34. So it's very close to her rising sign. Her body needs a lot of extra nurturing and care. Okay? And it squares up here to Saturn at 21 Leo. Oh, she has a wonderful mother. Mom over here in the home, and her family in her home, trine her rising sign. She has a good diet. She has, the public loves her. She has a higher knowledge of mothering, the homes, and she's after helping everybody in the home, and she's a good lawyer professor that does that. And but there's a Saturn square. Every word she says is judged by Saturn, the judge, up here, which isn't always a very friendly character. So we got a Scorpio rising, Mercury on the rising sign. She's a teacher, but she's a Scorpio. She's tough. Her ruling planet Pluto's up in the 9th. She probably got a law degree. It's conjunct, look at that, it's conjunct Mars. her ruler, Pluto, conjuncts Mars. She's a fighter, too. She's a Martian lady. These guys are Mars people. You know, and we might have had enough of war. I'm not sure that these two are really good for us. Interesting one. Ted Cruz, rising sign is Aries. Here's another Martian. He's a Mars character, too. You know, we're surrounded by Mars characters, aren't we? How about Bernie? Bernie's a Scorpio rising, just like Hillary. Another powerful innovator. His Pluto's in the 9th. He digs into the law. Impressive. His moon here, his mothering goes really well. Sextiles Jupiter. Here's another moon Jupiter smiling face. Public loves him. I like Bernie. Yeah. His sun's up here at the top of the chart. North node is Neptune. This is quite a person. Very admirable. And he has a nice Uranus trining Mercury. He's going to talk about the environment, global warming, you know. Yes, this guy he's every man's hero. That's who Bernie is. Just knowing who they are. Leo and 2 Scorpios. Oh boy. The Aries, Ted Cruz. Can see that. Here's Bill Clinton. Bill is a Libra rising. He's a lover, not a fighter. But there's Mars right on his rising sign. These are all Mars people. They don't have, these Aries and Libra don't have the tenacity and staying power of a Scorpio or a Leo, though. No, they don't. So these guys are into it for the long haul. Interesting. Hey, how do you tell who wins the election? I'm not going to do that for you right away. Take all the fun out of it. Besides, all there is on TV are these characters. You might as well learn a little bit from. How do you find out who wins it? Well, here's the secret. You look at the morning after. When these guys all get up, they go, the election is the 7th or the 8th. You look the next morning. How are they at breakfast? How do they look their partners and their kids in the face? And they feel proud? Are they planning to go to work? You can tell from the next morning who wins the election. That's a secret. But I'm not going to do that. I'll spoil all the fun for you. SkyMirrorAstrology.com/TV. Tell your friends and family. I'd like your feedback. Here's my email address. It's very simple. Rollin Frost, 2 L's, @yahoo.com. Email me and tell me what would you like me to do on this show. Now I'm tired of hurricanes. RollinFrost@yahoo.com. Email me, will you? What would you like to see on the show? Email me.